All right, welcome back, guys. We rebranded ourselves with a new name. We are now called FemTake. We are now called FemTake. We are not Infinity Reacts anymore. And today you're here with me, Carlos,
Chris, Samuel,
Austin.
and today we're doing something a little more different. We are going to still keep with the reactions, but today we're doing couch conversations where we sit on the couch and we converse and talk about certain topics that are trending and other stuff that we think is really interesting. First topic is going to be talking about the Ted Bundy movie that Netflix is releasing and how there's a lot of controversy about it because of Zac Efron also working into this movie. I know, Sam, you don't know a lot about this.
So recently, I didn't even know this movie was coming out. I heard a lot of people complaining about how they're making a movie about romanticizing a serial killer. So before I get into like the whole gist of it, what do you guys think about them making a movie about this guy?
I can see why people are not happy because they're taking a bad situation and they're making money out of it, and they're also like, making something bad kind of cool. Because Zac Efron's cool.
Yeah,
Zac Efron's beautiful. I read like a headline. Netflix was asking people to stop calling Ted Bundy sexy, which I imagine him being good looking or in shape or charismatic is part of the reason why he was so good at what he did. So I can understand why people are outraged at that. If someone commits a crime, you shouldn't glorify them, and by giving them a name or putting their name on the headlines, I understand their viewpoint.
I see where they're coming from because, as you say, it's romanticizing a serial killer. That's kind of like crazy hearing it out loud. But we had we've been doing this for years though. You have Harley Quinn who's been falling in love with Joker for for God knows how long DC has been active. It's like there's a lot of movies and TV shows and all this other stuff that has someone romanticizing a killer, a serial killer, a thief, all this other stuff. Mm-hmm. So why are people getting mad about it now that it's a live action and something that's actually happened in the past when we already had it happen in movies and TV shows and all these other things in the past?
It's probably because it's like a real person, like an actual account. Harley Quinn's like a fictional character, which I understand it's the same concept. Like she's doing the same thing.
Yeah.
It's probably people haven't really thought critically about it because they think Harley Quinn, they think, oh, it's fictional, and they see they see Ted Bundy, it's like, oh yeah, that was a real guy.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, I understand because it's real. I said it's something that happened in the past, but at the same time, it's just a movie. It's nothing happening now, I guess, because I said it happened so much long ago, and now that they're making a movie about it, it's kind of okay, it's just Netflix trying to produce a new movie, trying to bring a different kind of audience into their productions and stuff.
I guess with one of the other main points why are people mad about this is because they're trying to portray Ted Bundy in a way that as people didn't see him as a serial killer, as he was a normal guy walking down the street and not suspecting him as to be one. And that's one of the main reasons why people are mad, because everyone just why are you portraying him in this way when he really did kill all those people? But you got to understand that he was really that way. He was charming. He was very seductive. He didn't act suspicious, and that's why he was really famous for. He was famous for whether he did it or not, and I think he did confront all the murders, and he actually admitted he did. Mm-hmm. So it was something the police that never found out about it.
So they're gonna do their job, no. But it's interesting. I said I know there was this other thing I was online, something about it's the girlfriend or his lover kind of side of the story.
Yeah.
And she didn't see any of the murders happen. She's just explaining her side of the coin, her perspective, what she saw from her eyes. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of hard to say that it's you're giving him okay, he didn't do anything, because it's through a vision of someone else. Yeah. It's not we're not living his life, we're living the life of his lover.
Yeah, it's just saying you can't tell if I did something bad or not. I'm just acting normally as I am. Mm-hmm. So how would you know if I'm a serial killer or if I did something bad or not? So that's how the movie's trying to portray him. Mm-hmm. And I'd say in a decent, fair way. But of course, he's a terrible person for doing those bad things.
Yeah, he's a horrible person for going around killing people. But I just feel it's a very interesting movie because it's like you're seeing how someone who is cool, calm, collected, good looking, charismatic, has everything in life, and then becomes like a psychopath and goes around killing women.
Well, I don't think he became a psychopath. I mean, I'm not a psychologist and I don't major in it, but the people, from my understanding, people like Ted Bundy, they aren't really, it's not something they become, it's something that they've always been. And I don't know if Ted Bundy did this for the reason, but it's like, you know, when he would kill people, I imagine it would give him some kind of feeling because he didn't have any feelings.
Yeah. Okay.
I forget the distinction between sociopath and psychopath. I'm pretty sure he was one of them, right?
He has to be one of those.
Yeah.
And I think he also raped a woman, killed them, and then have sex with their dead body too. So he was.
Probably the necrophilia.
Yeah.
Yeah, it probably gave him some kind of rush. And I guess just, it's hard to imagine, but imagine if you had no feelings and like nothing really gave you anything. Like nothing was significant. The food or your friends or whatever. And then for some reason, the only thing that would make you feel something or anything was killing people. It's a pretty shitty existence in my opinion. And there's nothing you can really do about it, so.
Maybe he just liked the adrenaline rush coming through it. Like, your body's pumping because you just, like, killed someone. And
Yeah.
it'd be the only way he felt sexually active as well. Because if he's raping them after they're dead, that's pretty fucking crazy.
Yeah.
So what exactly is the context of the movie? Like, what's the plot and everything? Because first we're talking about, like, people are getting offended by it because they're portraying him as a good guy, but are they actually, like, showing him killing people in this movie?
I think there were a couple of scenes in the trailer where.
What's the genre of the movie?
Yeah, that's something.
Because if it's a
to talk
documentary, you can't really get mad. But if it's like a drama or something or an
It's
action
probably
film.
like a horror, maybe?
No, it's not a horror.
Because if horror.
So that means there's no killing in the movie.
I don't know. I'm not sure because it showed a couple scenes where it looked like he was going to commit murder, but
But that's clickbait from Netflix.
yeah,
Because I mean, like, if they're actually showing him killing people, then I can't see how people could possibly get mad at this. Because they're like, yeah, he's a good guy, but then they're showing him killing people, so I couldn't see how people would be able to get offended by that. Because I mean, he's still killing people in the movie.
It's like,
So-
here's the evidence.
Yeah. So like, what are they not doing? What are they not doing that isn't pissing people off?
They're not making him creepy and ugly.
yeah. They're not portraying him as a typical, stereotypical.
Like what you imagine a psychopath would be.
Yeah, because when you think serial killers, you know, you think of like the guy from Halloween, think about like the Chainsaw Massacre, you think about all these.
Well,
like,
I don't even think of that.
like, guys.
I think of just regular people that go on a murder spree.
Oh well, you're
Oh, like
smart,
what?
Chris. So most
Because, I
people
mean-
don't like think. About
Yeah, you think of like there's like that. What was his name? Was it the Grim Sleeper? Is that his name? That he killed he just went through the night killing like dozens of people, and then eventually got
shit.
caught like decades later.
Holy
It should've
Yeah.
some-
It was, like,
I'm
too
thinking
late.
unless I'm thinking of something completely different, but like
Yeah.
I think of stuff like that. I don't think of Scream. If I think of Scream, I'm thinking of scary movies.
I just think of Jack the Ripper.
I mean, the thing
That's-
about
yeah, that's
being
a
like
good
a
one,
serial
yeah.
killer is like you can't be a successful serial killer if you do it the movie style way. If you do it the movie style way, like you're gonna get caught.
Yeah.
In that case, you wouldn't be a serial killer. You would be like a one-time murderer on like the news. That's it. So
I mean, it just comes down to the fact that people shut down things immediately that they don't like, and that's what the people are doing with this movie. Is like they're shutting it down because they don't like it. It's like just because of the fact that how they're portraying him as a character. Is like you gotta understand this is how he was. You know, this isn't.
they're not changing any of the details.
Yeah, they're not changing any details, and it's like people are already giving their impressions of the movie, but they haven't even actually done their research about it now.
The movie hasn't even came out yet, right?
I just
Yeah,
feel
as it
like
came out, yeah.
the thing about it as well is like since the character's very good looking and everything, you wouldn't expect a very good looking person to be a killer. Like in America, it's like you strive being good looking, charismatic, and all this other stuff. And this person that has all of that as being a serial killer, I just feel like people don't feel comfortable with that either.
Well, most people wouldn't see a motive because there really isn't a motive. If you're a normal person, you have everything
Yeah,
to
exactly.
kill people.
So it's like maybe that's also another reason because you have like this basically perfect guy going around killing, and instead of being like this like ugly ass psychopath or whatever. But the Ted Bundy movie, thing does seem very interesting. I do want to watch it because I feel like it's just going into the mind of a killer
Yeah.
and thinking about how he can have like two modes, I guess. Kind of like what you were saying, how like he feels nothing throughout the day, but when he finally kills, he does feel something. So I just think that's very interesting. Because it's like, that's someone's like mind basically turning on a switch and turning it off.
And we just got to remember that it's filmed in the perspective of his girlfriend.
Yeah.
It's not his movie.
Is his girlfriend still alive, or did they have like accounts of her journals or something?
I think is she?
I'm not sure if she's alive or not.
I'm not sure. Yeah,
Oh,
I'm not
okay.
gonna say she is because
Oh
I'm
yeah,
not
because you don't know.
sure.
There's already been a Ted Bundy movie too,
Yeah.
so get offended on that one too.
I don't know why people are so offended by it, like now if there was already a movie back then.
Yeah,
But I think they just said it was like that.
maybe it's just people are more comfortable like saying they're offended about things.
Yeah, it
The
is
times are
2019.
changing.
We got the internet, and you can say whatever you want with this invisible like just like screen shield, you know. So
And it's crazy because people will say like the like craziest of things behind their computers. Like,
And then when it comes to actual face-to-face interaction, they're quiet as shit.
yeah, like I think like another like big topic is like bullying through Instagram and like Facebook and all that other stuff.
yeah,
I think that shit's crazy because people will like type like the craziest of fucking things on there, like so much hate, and then it's like what Sam said, you come face to face and they're like the quietest of people.
yeah. Their fingers read a check that their body can't cash out.
Yeah. You know what I mean? You have people like typing all this racial slurs, all these cuss words, or even like little kids cussing at you through video games. And then when
Yeah.
it comes face to face, it's like, okay, so what's gonna happen now? And then nothing happens.
I don't know, man. Little kids nowadays, they're pretty ballsy.
Oh yeah, man.
They'll say some shit.
Little kids will.
The parents
'Cause
don't smack them enough.
Right?
Little kids are like drunk. They'll say whatever on their mind. Like
Well, they have no filter.
exactly.
They also don't know any better. So
Yeah. Then I said, like Chris said, parents aren't really as strict now as parents were before.
They don't smack their kids enough. Smack your kids.
Your kids, they just need a whooping from time to time.
It keeps like reminding me back to the meme where it's like that kid says 5 inches deep in your mom.
Oh yeah.
Oh. Yeah, you see, that's crazy. Like,
like
imagine a fifth grader going around saying that shit. Like,
oh, it's probably because like, well, I think only until recently have companies like internet companies and Wi-Fi routers have they made like parental controls on the internet.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know about you guys, but when I got my first iPod Touch, man, the stuff I could look up. Like,
Oh,
I've already seen things that were 5 years ahead of my age. Like,
but yeah.
yeah, and I can
You have
imagine
to be
like,
18 and older. And to this side, I'm 12. I think that's all you have to say.
12 is 18 to me. Like, but
They don't gotta know.
yeah, I imagine it's a mixture of things of why like kids are like that.
And it's like now we have like all these crazy memes. Memes went from like wholesome and kind of chill to like the most stupidest of things. And now it's like our younger generation is being able to watch that because you have people like that kind of stuff on YouTube. And YouTube is so accessible that it's like you can't really block it. And then when you do, your kids are still able to watch certain streamers because they put down their stuff as kid friendly.
Yeah, I think the only solution is just parents monitoring their kids more. But that's a hard sell in
Yeah.
America anyway, because they spend most of their time working.
You have people working 9 to 5s and your kids on the internet when they're at school or when they come home they're on their tablets, and you're not gonna like have the energy to go and see what your kid's doing on their tablet.
Yeah, and it's just not something most people think about.
Yeah, and I think the fact that like kids are like staying more inside now compared to like I feel like when we were all younger, how everything was done outside. Like whenever you had like neighborhood kids around, like everyone would be outside playing, and now it's nothing like that.
dude, it'd be like a privilege to let your parents let you go outside.
Oh man,
I lived on a hill. I stayed inside all the time.
you live in
I just played with Legos in my Xbox. But I lived on like a steep hill. Like,
oh yeah,
Yeah.
That makes it hard.
that makes it a lot harder.
yeah,
but, like
all the balls ran away every single time.
like growing up, like it's like a straight street, so it's like I was able to ride bikes, play soccer, like go run around with all these other
On the
kids.
flats.
Yeah, and so it's like it's a cool thing, because you as a kid the whole point's like go outside, get dirty, get bruises and bumps, and you're making like you're enjoying life experiences while you're still young. Because when you're older, you can't really do that.
I mean, it's a lot of social lessons unintentionally, and it's also good for your immune system.
Yeah, that's
But going outside and playing with other kids, it's a lot of social skills you learn. So.
Oh yeah.
What I noticed more is that I noticed particularly from my sister, my older sister, because she had her child, my niece, like 4 years ago, and that also seen this happen to my cousins too. But they've always had their children on iPads, like just to calm them down, stop them whining, have them easily distracted.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's the parents' duty to I don't know how to phrase
Your
it.
kid starts throwing a fit, you gotta whoop him.
Yeah.
Why are you throwing the fit in the first place?
Well, not about whooping him. I mean, I got whooped, but not like painfully. It's more like just for me to understand that I was in trouble, not that I was bruised up.
Yeah.
It's not like
To clarify, when we say whooped, it's not that like the kid is actually hurt or bruised, but just to mentally understand that like you did something wrong.
it's not
You're
like
being punished.
bring a belt.
Yeah, no, but just to clarify, because nobody don't know us, but it's like the parent's duty to actually parent that child rather than to like technology babysit your kid, or kind of like to deal with whatever the current issue is.
Yeah, and then they let that be a habit, and then to a point where it's impossible to get them away from the iPad, or else they're not going to cooperate.
And it's crazy now because before, when family or whoever comes over, it was always little kids running around. But nowadays, everyone's sitting on the couch on an iPad, iPhone. Everyone's on their phone, tablet, Switch. It's crazy. It isn't sociable anymore. It's just you sitting down, having earphones in, talking to each other when you're right next to each other.
Yeah, it's definitely a different medium.
And it's yeah, exactly. It's absolutely crazy. If you really think about it, like, there's a lot of kids that are playing all these video games, and they're right next to each other, but they all want to have headsets on because it looks cool.
What do you think a good thing to do? Like, what do you think a solution would be?
I just think that limiting time on like electronics would be a lot better than having your kids do something outside. And I mean, what hurts like you going out there with them and just supervising them for an hour, maybe two, while the sun is still out. It's good for them. They're doing stuff, like they're doing activities, they're burning their energy.
Yeah.
Because I feel like that's why kids are throwing so much fits. They have so much energy that like they have nothing else to do.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, kids do have a lot of energy.
Like as a little kid, I remember, oh my god, running around was like 4 or 5 hours outside, and I was like tired as hell, And it lights out by like 8:30 because of all the running around you used to do.
One method I've been thinking of, I have no clue if it'll work, but this is something I've been thinking of just because raising kids in a digital age, like we're gonna have to go through that.
Yeah, of course.
Us growing up, we barely had internet. Like me, I know I still had to unplug the phone and then plug it into, unplug the phone in order to use the internet on the computer, right?
There was no games on the computer either.
So it's one method I would think of is do those activities with your kid. Play with them online or do something like that.
Yeah.
Just so they enjoy spending time with you. So that way you can go do an outside activity later on, and they'll still want to do it because they want to enjoy time with you.
Yeah,
that is a great idea.
Make it like that kind of thing. Don't make it. It's like, all right, you got to get off your game, go play outside.
More like a punishment.
Make it like, let's go do this. Let's both go outside and enjoy ourselves because we like spending time with each other, not just it's not as a punishment.
Yeah, so it's more like an inclusive family event rather than just I'm telling you to do something, just do it.
Yeah,
and I feel like that's why kids as well like technology so much. I mean, YouTube, you have people talking and you watch all these videos about people doing certain things that you can't do with your parents anymore. I said parents are working 9 to 5 jobs and they don't really have the energy to come home and be like, all right, let's go outside and play. And your dad's gonna be like, all right, let's go inside after like the next 10 minutes because he's not gonna want to stand outside anymore. And the technology that YouTube gives you and whatever, it gives you like that attention that you want. It gives you that someone that's talking to you, teaching you how to play with these toys, or talking about Fortnite, or talking about all this other stuff that little kids are very interested to.
It's that dopamine release.
Exactly.
We're all chasing chemicals.
It's also to not be hypocritical with it too, because like I know me, I spend like hours and hours on YouTube when I'm home. If you spend hours, so if I was to have a kid right now and I would spend hours on YouTube or hours on my phone, and I yell at my kid for doing that, that's not cool. So like, if you're a kid, you're growing up right now, you're on the phone or you're playing a lot of video games, when your parents get mad at you, it's kind of messed up when you look and you see your parents doing the same thing, just, you know, in a different manner, you know, on their phone. Like my parents play a lot of Candy Crush, so you know, it's like if I see that, but then if my parents try to get on me because I spend a lot of time on social media or whatever, it's hypocritical in that sense.
Yeah, I see what you're
and that's something that needs to be avoided too.
Yeah, because it's the same thing with my parents. You know, I feel like a lot of parents now are starting to get onto social media because, you know, they're just starting to like start understanding like all this other stuff. So it's like growing up, like I was never really like into video games because I never had video games like that until recently that I'm older. And now that I'm older, I'm starting to explore more into it. They're like, oh, you need to get off of this, and I'm just like, but dude, like you're on your phone all the time. It's like it's so hypocritical, as you said. Because I said when you finally get off of it, you're like, okay, let's go do something together, and then they're on their phone or they're watching TV, or it's like, okay, so what am I doing out here? Like,
I think the biggest thing like to solving this problem is it's like leading by example, you know? So for example, if you wanted your kids to be better and to spend more time outside, you should spend outside. You should spend time outside. Like what you said, you know, like if your parents on your phone, it's a bit silly for them to yell at you to be on your phone. So I think everyone can just take the time to be more active outside.
yeah.
You know, if you want to see change, you have to make it. I mean, that's a pretty cliche thing to say, but it's true. Like for example, like I wanted my dad to be more open to learning things. I sat down with him and showed him these YouTube videos, and I sent him links. And then sometimes he comes up to me, you know, after the fact, like, oh, you know, I saw this video and it was telling me about this. Or even cooking. Like I cook pretty often now. I notice my dad does it too. So definitely like parents before having kids should decide what kind of lives they want their kids to have, and they have to kind of like build that kind of lifestyle, you know, before they have the kid. Ideally, if they could plan it.
Yeah. And I mean, also disclaimer, none of us have kids, but this is a thing that we think about ideal because it's kind of hard now.
Another big issue with parenting and kids is that a lot of parents are working a lot. They don't have the time or the energy, you know, a 9 to 5, all the bills. It's becoming increasingly more difficult as, you know, a middle class person to make all the financial kind of like, you know, promises, your obligations, and have a family. So, I mean, that's why they rely on technology. But financial literacy is a topic that a lot of people don't think about or study. Do you guys know what that is?
I assume it's just an understanding of finances, the proper or smart way to do it, sort of to go about it.
Yeah, and I mean, if you really think about it, like people they've never thought about it or they don't want to. I mean, there are these statistics you can throw out that like most Americans can't afford a $400 emergency. Or if you look at it, like, you know, 70% of most Americans don't have a savings. You know, the 30% only have like 1,000 or 1,500. I mean, isn't that insane?
The crazy thing about that is that people don't think about the future, they think about the present, which is why people impulsively buy things that they like. I feel like that's why a lot of people go around and they buy all this expensive materialistic things, you know. They go around, they buy this Gucci stuff, this Supreme stuff, even though that what you really should just be doing is saving up this money, because in the next couple months, you never know what's going to happen. Like what happened if you get hurt at work and you're going to be out of work for the next month and a half? Do you really have the money to pay your rent? Do you really have the money to pay your water and your electricity?
Yeah. I mean, even if you look at like current news, like it's unfortunate what happened to the federal workers. Like that's not cool. That's horrible. There's no way to justify what had happened to them. It's terrible. But I mean, if you think about financial literacy, people should have 6 months of their like all their monthly bills.
But that's crazy to have, especially like in certain places that people live in, because you know we're in the Bay Area.
Yeah.
And the Bay Area is so expensive to live in, and the jobs just don't do enough of the paying to say that like you could live here with having that 6 months of like your pay into your savings. So it's like, even as much as you try to have it, I feel like it's super hard if you don't have the financial experience or if you don't seek a way to get help on it.
Yeah, it's really difficult. I mean, a lot of people, it's like financial literacy, it's not something that they like their family has experience in, and then people don't have mentors who talk about it. A lot of people don't like to read. There are all these different factors that contribute to why people have never thought about it. And on top of that, like the way our money system is in the U.S., like when you're poor, it's really hard to stop being poor.
Well, right now the poverty line is like what, 90,000 a salary?
It's like between 90 and 110 for San Francisco.
And that's crazy because even having a good like graphic designer job, you get 150K a year, and that's barely over the poverty line. Even going to school for all these years and then showing that like even getting these careers and getting in debt with student loans and with college and university, it's like at the end of the day, your job is barely getting you by.
Yeah. I mean, the system's also kind of like, it almost has like compound interest. So for example, like, people now that are irresponsible financially, when they have kids, their kids are already put in a lower position. So I think, one of the solutions is just like thinking with your brain rather than your emotion. The point that you brought up earlier about people buying things, they do that like in response to an emotion. So if I work really hard and I'm not really happy, I can buy something to give myself temporary joy, a Mustang or a new video game, or going out to eat some really great food, even though I don't really need to, or I shouldn't for my body. But just thinking, think like separating your emotions from your financial decisions.
And the thing about that as well is like it's like what you said, you go out, you buy things that temporarily give you joy, and then what do you do with them? A lot of people just go out, buy a bunch of stuff, and then they forget about it.
They don't use it, or it depreciates, and you're just out of money.
Or it sits there, and people just start throwing stuff out. I know, like, even me myself, like when I was working as a supervisor, I was getting paid well, and I was going around buying stuff I didn't need. And then now that it came around to the point where, I lost my job or whatever, I don't have the money to pay certain things. I just threw my money away at stuff that gave me temporary joy and didn't give me the financial security that I need.
Yeah, that's another great term, financial security. A lot of people aren't financially secure. Definitely having, the 6 months of saved money for rent and just not having to work. Like most people, they live paycheck to paycheck. They must work. Even if they don't want to or their health prevents it, they must push on.
Yeah, and that's the crazy part because I know a friend of mine where she, her and her family, like, they don't live in the best of parts. And her dad was like, her dad used to work, but he got injured. And he really messed up his spine. And then his job just fired him because they didn't want to deal with the lawsuit. And so now her dad can't work because he gets pains in his back spontaneously. Her mom is working at a Pizza Hut, living the paycheck by paycheck.
Yeah. And
she's working as well, a minimum paying job in El Sobrante. And it's like you don't get paid enough to even live in like the lowest of parts, And that's the sad reality. Like a lot of people are living paycheck by paycheck, and it hurts to say that because it's like you want society to strive, you want people to be able to live in homes, but society doesn't really help you with that. Yeah, because it's like I said, you're supposed to have 6 months of salary or your pay,
your monthly expenses,
into your savings, but no one teaches you that.
School doesn't teach you that.
Yeah, like our schooling is horrible for that. They don't teach you how to do your taxes. They don't teach you how to have a good savings and checking account. No one teaches you how to balance your checks.
Dude, the school forces young adults, teenagers, to make a $30,000-$40,000 like investment when you don't even know what you want.
Exactly.
I mean, a lot of people might disagree with that and saying, "Oh yeah, you just go to college or whatever." But you consider this: like at 18 years old, like you don't even know the world. You haven't experienced any field. You don't know anything really about yourself. You're still finding yourself. Why should someone be kind of pressured by society, by their teachers, by whoever's successful to make, to go to a UC or to go to a private?
Not only that, you're giving an 18-year-old who has never made decisions before in their life the biggest decision of their life. Going to a UC, a CSU, a community college, like that is the biggest decision of your life, how you go financially. And a lot of people go to the biggest of schools and end up dropping out and owing a shit ton of money.
Yeah.
And you're working a minimum wage job and you owe the school thousands and thousands upon dollars until you're probably like 40 years old and you finally get to pay it off because you went to Contra Costa to finally finish your career because you notice that that's the only way you're going to pay it back. And it's crazy because I said, you're giving this kid who you've given directions their whole life to finally make a jump at something that they don't know how to do. But that's really like stupid to do as like adults as in a schooling system, because your whole life is like, okay, homework is this day, you have these days off, you have this time to do your classwork. You're giving a kid a schedule throughout their whole life, and now it's like, now you choose your schedule, you get to do whatever you want, find out how to make money, find out how to go to school. Good luck.
All of your decisions are made for you.
Yeah.
But yeah, what were you gonna say, Sam?
Oh, I think it's crazy to, like you guys said, having an 8-year-old decide what they want to do with their lives, spending thousands upon thousands of tens of thousands of dollars on something they're not even sure of. And let's say if you're if they're like a middle class student, like how most students are, they won't be able to qualify for financial aid, and it's going to be hard for like, where are they going to get the money from, you know? And they end up working a part-time job while going to school, and they end up lacking on their studies because they're working so hard trying to make up the money.
Yeah, like I
Chris
completely
works
feel for it.
every day.
Yeah.
Every day.
As of right now, Chris is working like 22 days in a row, which is absolutely fucking
And that's
crazy.
just what's scheduled. There will be more once the next schedule comes out, and even then I won't know if I'll get a day off then either.
And that's absolutely fucking crazy. You're giving a kid that you know is working as a part-time, who's going to college, all these hours to work. So he's working at least 40 hours a week. Let's say he's working more, depending on how many days he's working throughout the week and how many 8
I've
hours
seen the
shifts.
schedule. It's like Saturday through Sunday. And you sent me like 3 weeks worth of that, right?
2.
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
2 weeks. He even works on the weekends.
So-
And he still goes to school.
Let's
so-
say like he's working 40 hours a week and homeboy has to go to class like 4 hours before going to work. How do you feel okay to go to school, go to work, and try to come home at like 11 o'clock, 10 o'clock at night, still do homework? And then have to be ready for tomorrow and be mentally ready, socially ready, and physically be ready to go to school and go back to work.
And I think how the system is kind of configured is that not everyone is supposed to win, I guess. Not everyone's supposed to get out of the rat race. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know if I should phrase it that way, but
I mean, it is what it is.
It
It's
is,
the
yeah,
rat race,
honestly,
yeah.
it is what it is.
it's a sad reality.
Exactly
I
what
mean,
it is.
think about it. So the system, the U.S. system, does not teach financial literacy. Does not talk about financial freedom. It makes you get into this immense debt. So I mean, those all point towards the rat race. The idea of having to work 9 to 5 your whole life and then retire at 65.
Yeah, the weird thing is they teach us economics, so they teach us political economy and political investments or finances, but they don't teach us our own. Which is honestly probably the worst part. They don't teach us personal. They teach us national political.
And it's crazy because it's like, okay, cool, you're teaching us how to do economy and whatever for our country, but am I really going to need that in the future?
Well, that doesn't really do anything for the economy. Like, if you taught everybody about like how like the national economy works, that doesn't actually help the economy.
Exactly.
But if you taught everybody how to manage their own finances, that could help the economy.
Yeah.
Which is where we're getting at. Because, like, it's crazy that, they're teaching you all these other crazy shit in school. Do I really need to know about environmental science? Do I really need to know how earthquakes are causes? No. What I need to know is how to go through life with being able to be financially okay. Like I said, there's a lot of people that are going through this life, even being older and still having to work. There's people that are 65, 66, 67, which is the retirement age, and they're still working.
Just the lady right there, she's 69, she's still working.
And that's crazy, It's like you literally work to your death because there's no way you can stop because bills always come.
Also, you can't apply for bankruptcy for financial or educational debt.
No, you can't at all.
Yeah,
really.
you can. Yeah, you can.
Oh my gosh.
So if I have a business and I can accumulate large amounts of debt, I can apply for bankruptcy. But you can't do that with financial debt. I'm pretty sure that's how it works. But it's insane.
And it's like, how do you ever win in this game? Like, you fight with the school system, you fight with trying to get a good job because when you're going to get a new job, you have all these other competitors with you. even them being your friends or people you don't even know. And it's like, how exactly are you supposed to get a good job, live your life happy, and live the American dream?
And even if you like, let's say if you get through college and you still have like reasonable amount of debt, but you get that degree and you're unable to find that job you want.
And then you end up working at McDonald's anyways.
Yeah, and it just it drives most students to like just drop out of school and do something else. Like most people start their own businesses. That's what all of these tech companies are doing. They're starting new apps. They're like going around Silicon Valley and SF, trying to become entrepreneurs. And your friend, I'm not going to say his name, but he dropped out of UC Davis.
Oh yeah, he did, yeah.
And cause I'm not sure why, but
do you want me to talk about it? Or?
I mean, I don't want to talk about him without like saying his name because I don't want.
I guess we don't have to say his name, but basically, he probably learned about financial literacy and the whole like rat race idea, and he decided to become his own boss and not go into something he wasn't into. For example, if he was into research or he wanted to be a scientist, great, go to a UC because they do a lot of research, But for him, it was more about just like financial freedom. So he dropped out and got his real estate license. I mean, I don't know, some of you guys watch this video probably know who he is. He's a good guy.
See, like, that's actually a really smart thing to do.
Yeah, he's not succumbing to pressure of society. I mean, think about it. Like, if you tell most people, oh yeah, my smart friend just dropped out of his UC just because he didn't want to do it anymore. A lot of people are gonna think it's a bad thing.
I think people think it's a bad thing because there's other people that want opportunities like that.
Yeah.
And they're not able to achieve it, and that's why they think it's a bad thing. Because another thing that I want to talk about like school or whatever is that people will complete their degrees and end up not even working in that field. Like I can give you like two prime examples. Like I know someone that ended up like trying to go for a civil engineer, switched his major because it was too hard.
Yeah.
Became a mechanic, and then now is working construction. And he wasted how many years throughout college, wasting money with like whatever community college he's giving to. And then I know someone else who went to SFSU, became a biology major, and then is now a manager at a fast food restaurant.
Dude, my boss, he's a business major and he's in IT.
And that's what I'm getting at. People spend all this money on a degree and end up not even being able to use it.
Yeah, so just the whole idea that like a degree is a great thing, you should just automatically assume that it's the best thing for you, or that you should pick a degree as soon as possible because you want to get done. Like being pressured to finish something the wrong way, it always isn't that great. Like, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if it's something where you have to come up with a decision, you don't know what you want to do, but you kind of have an idea of where you want to go, like, and at least in a general idea in which direction you want to go. Trade schools are honestly probably better ideas than going to college.
Yeah, I think I was about to mention that, like technical trade schools.
Yeah, like if you like working with your hands and like that you kind of like doing construction, or you like something similar to that, carpentry or whatever, trade schools are they're the way to go. You make a lot of money doing that, and it's only like 2 years of going and learning that craft.
Oh, so you're talking about like
already
stuff like Wyotech,
yeah.
UTI,
or even like the guilds, like the electricians union or something.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, when they bring you in as an apprentice and then you build up.
Yeah, those are honestly, those are decisions. Like if you're stuck, you don't know what you want to do, but you have a general idea of where you want to go. Those are really good moves that you can make.
And those are like guaranteed to get you a job. Like our friend, he was in a technical trade school right after high school because like he was the type of guy that didn't really care about college, but he knew he had to get a job somewhere. So he went to this technical trades program, and it ended up him interning at Airbnb, which led him to an actual job there paying $20 plus an hour, and it's a position that he can grow into. It's not something that it's a dead end job, and I think that's great too because like he didn't have to get a degree or anything, and from from his position now, he can still move up if he wants to, stay where he's at, and he's getting tons of benefits from that career.
But yeah, trade schools and community college are perfectly fine. I mean, nobody should feel pressured to go to a state or a UC or a private.
Yeah.
I mean, 'cause like at the end of the day, like the point of getting more education is to get a good paying job or to be able to pay for your own bills and stuff. And it's the whole point is to get a good job and to pay for things, not to get be prestigious or have some cool like school name.
And the thing about it too is like, there's nothing wrong going to a community college. If anything, you save more money at the end of the day.
Yeah.
You get rid of let's say your general education, your prerequisites and everything
For cheaper.
a cheaper price. I mean, thankfully, like Constructive College, you have the California Promise fee waiver where they make units to like go down to $5. I had 4 classes altogether last semester, and I paid $5 for all of them.
Yeah, and it's the same material.
Yeah, and it's like $5 to go to classes that you have professors that study like at different colleges and come over here because they perfected their craft or whatever, and they're here to teach you. And $5 is almost nothing compared to paying thousands of dollars to Davis, to SFSU, to UCSF, or all these other places where everything is so much more expensive.
And it's not really to like diss those things. They have their place. So for example, if you were really good at math and you wanted to be, like you wanted to be a mechanical engineer, and there was some UC where that's their thing, and you were for sure into it, by all means go do it. Or for example, if you want to be a doctor, going to UCSF, and like that was your thing, you already knew, by all means go do it. But UC just isn't for everyone.
I don't think you can go into UCSF for trying to be a doctor, right?
Or
No, that's
that's for a graduate school.
UCSF is a
med school.
yeah.
I thought it was a graduate school, so like if you already have your doctorate, and then you can go into perfect a certain craft.
No, it's a med school.
Oh, I'm
So
not
you
really.
can,
I mean, I'm not really sure if you could. I'm not like I don't know much about UCSF, but I mean the point is that like these prestigious schools, they have like their place, in research, or if you were just really into like scholarly work.
Yeah. I mean, me personally, I wouldn't, like, if anyone's asking me what they should do, I would recommend just going to community college always. Always at least start there, unless you had, like, a scholarship, or you were, like, like, you got scouted to, like, play sports for a school or something, right? Like, if you had a scholarship to go to a UC or a CSU, I would say go for it then. But if you're tight on budget, and you just don't really, like, you want to go to college, you don't know what for, like, no, there's no reason that you should go to a CSU or a UC over a community college just for like, just because of
prestige
like,
prestige or the pressure.
Because you get nothing out of it except debt at the end of the day.
And I understand that. Sorry.
No. I was basically done.
Yeah.
I'm saying just unless you have like a scholarship, there's really no reason that you should choose a CSU or a UC over a community college. That's basically
there
my
is
point.
one thing.
Well, I mean, unless that school is like focused in that area.
No,
like
there's that typical college experience that everyone wants to have, where they have all these, kind of like irresponsible moments and getting, shit faced.
I'm glad
Yeah,
you
that
brought
doesn't
that
happen
up.
in community college. It doesn't.
I'm glad that you brought that up. Because the college experience, like, people do it, but they end up dropping out anyways.
I mean, honestly, it's overrated. Like,
we also know another person that did that.
Yeah, I know a couple people that do
it's
that.
overrated. Like, honestly, we're all adults. We're all 18. I'm 20. I don't know how old you guys are, but
Crazy.
like if you wanted to get
12?
fucked up, like you can go to a club, or you can just when you're 21, like hang out or go to a club, have your own party. Like why the hell are you gonna spend like $12,000 to get shit faced? Like what the fuck? Like that's silly.
You just do that at
point.
home for 20.
And it's like, who's even gonna care like 10 years later? 10 years later when people are into their careers or in debt, they have their own family, or they have hella kids, like who's gonna remember that, oh yeah, that guy went to that cool university, we got shit faced. Like I'm not gonna remember.
Like, yeah, it might be like fun memories, but honestly, you can make better ones. Like,
You make better ones if you don't have debt.
yeah.
Man, you just have better memories not owing a shit ton of money in the first place. Like,
But kind of backtracking a bit, like being pressured into like applying and getting to these other colleges.
Mm-hmm.
I feel that's also due to the kind of social group they're in. Like they see all these other people around class getting to UCs and all these other good schools.
It's the wave.
Yeah, it's the wave, and they're like, oh crap, I need to get to a good school because of the crap. What's the word?
It's kind of like the status quo. I
Yeah,
guess.
the status quo.
Yeah, the wave, what's cool.
And you see, the crazy part is like, okay, so like we were saying earlier, how school throughout all your life, you're giving decisions, and then 10th grade year, you go in, and then you have people coming into your classroom and they're explaining to you, you need these grades to go to this school, you need these grades to go to this school, and then you don't need grades to go to CC. And then everyone's like, I want to go to a UC, CSU. But it's like, you feel left out if you're like, I want to go to a community college.
People are gonna look at you weird, like.
Yeah, they would be like, why don't you want to go to a CSU? Why don't you want to go to a UC? What? Are you not gonna want to try to like move on in life?
Are you stupid
You want to
or
go to
something?
community college? Are you stupid? It's like, no. It's like you have to fit in, and a lot of people feel like, as like you said, you feel pressured to go to the UCs or to the CSUs because everyone else is doing it. Everyone else is filling out a bunch of paperwork and they're writing essays for scholarships and they're doing all this stuff to try to go to the UCs that are around,
It's the cool thing to do. And at that time, of course it's illogical, but yeah, being in high school, like.
I remember wanting to. I didn't want to go to CCC at first, or community college in general. I just didn't want to do it because a UC or a CSU sounded so much better. But when I finally was like, you know what, this is a load of crap, I decided to apply for a community college, and then realizing how many people I knew from high school that actually did the same thing, I was like, damn, that's crazy.
Dude, there's so many people, like.
Yeah, honestly, it's a high school reunion whenever I go.
Honestly, at the end of the day, it saves you a shit ton of money.
Yeah, that's the best part.
Because going back to this whole conversation, financial literacy is like so crazy, and if having all these student debts and all these like stuff with that is gonna be the problem, then why have money problems?
Yeah. Or why even give like your kids or something money problems?
Yeah, because once you die, your money goes to your kids.
Yeah.
Your debt goes to your kids.
One more thing though about like going to a community college, calculus is calculus, nursing is nursing, film is film, public speaking is public speaking. It's the same curriculum. It's not a different universe. Yeah, the curriculum is the same. I mean, that's why someone can go from a community college and become an engineer, and the same person, is also from Stanford, can become an engineer.
Yeah, most definitely. It's crazy because even teachers from community college come from these like bigger UCs and from all these bigger schools to come teach at the community college. And I feel like at the end of the day, no matter what your teacher shows you, it's what you do with the materials that is going to end up mattering for what you're going to do with your life. No matter, because you can put someone from like Stanford and someone from CC, and depending on how smart they each are, they might be at the same level, even though one of them's going to the best school ever.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, UCs definitely have their place. It's not like you should just go to community college, because you can't get bachelor's degrees at community colleges. You can only go as far as associates, and that's as far as they go.
Yeah, but
so
that's
of course,
of
course, like transferring is a way to go, but as using community college as a resource to basically, one, to save money. I mean, that's really just the main thing there. You're going to save a lot of money, but you're going to find better avenues when you go to community college, because your counselors and everything, they're going to be talking about the different majors that you can go through, and the different UCs or CSUs the different majors that these other, higher prestigious colleges have, and you can just kind of, it's better for experimentation for sure.
I feel like, I'm not sure if this is true, but I feel like there's definitely more, like you said, more opportunities and more networking you can do at a community college than an actual CSU.
I feel
that's from what I've seen.
No, I'd agree, because there's a lot more avenues. There's so much, like a community college, it's very open with opportunities.
It's a slower pace and it's more intimate. I mean, imagine at UC there's thousands of more people and they all have, their lives and their schedules to go about, but at a community college it's closer.
Yeah. Closure.
Alright guys, well, that's all the time we have, and we're going to cut it at an end. Please like, comment, subscribe. If you want to see more stuff like this, let us know. If there's any topics you guys want to hear us talk about, we're open to anything. going from childhood TV shows to I don't know, Supreme Court talks, I guess.
Socioeconomic problems,
Yeah,
the human psyche.
Music.
anything. Give us constructive criticism as well. We would like to improve the channel as much as we can. So any kind of like opinions or thoughts, any ways that we can improve, be sure to let us know.
Any constructive criticism.
Yeah, constructive.
Yeah.
We want our content.
Don't be a dick.
like give us a solution, you know? If we're too quiet, say so.
Solutions, not problems. But
if you're also wondering where are the reaction videos, we'll link those videos back to our other channel. We'll soon have some more reactions coming up soon. They're just taking a little bit more time since the semester started, but we'll have those out soon.
so I said, like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell for next time, and see you then. Peace.